So I built an automation where an AI will call your customers, ask them for their reviews, collect their feedbacks exactly like a human, if not even better, and then send the information to Google Sheets. Let me show you guys a very quick demo so that you guys can understand what I'm talking about. So as you can see, I've prepared a Google Sheets over here, and this is my name and number over here. Once I run this automation, I will be receiving a phone call very quick. So I'm receiving a phone call over on my number over here. So I'll be picking this up.
Hi, Oscar. This is a quick call from Bright Care Services just to check how your experience was with us. Could you share a quick rating from 1 to 5, where 5 means excellent?
Yeah, the experience was pretty good. I honestly don't have much complaints. I think I would give it a solid 4.
Thank you so much for that, Oscar. Could you share in a few words what made you rate us a 4?
I mean, the customer service was pretty good, but I'd definitely say you guys work on the response time. I mean, I would definitely recommend having an AI assistant that can respond to your customers 24/7. So yeah.
I understand, Oscar, and I really appreciate your feedback. We'll definitely work on improving our response time. Thanks again for sharing your thoughts with us. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, you too. So this was an AI that called me for my customer review, and this was because I inputted my phone number over here. So let's say if you have a list of customers and you want to call them and want the AI to ask them for their review, just like you saw on this demo that I just showed you guys. So what you can do is just input the phone number over here, and then the AI will call the customers one by one and then just simply ask them for the review. And then what it will do, it will store the information over here. So as you can see, this is my name, this is the same phone number over here. So just double checking it. So during the call I give the customer rating as 4. So as you can see, that's the value over here. This is the customer feedback. The customer service was pretty good, but definitely say you guys work on the response time. I definitely recommend having an AI assistant. So this is what I said. So this is basically collecting the feedback over here, and then this is the summary of the entire call, just so if you want to take a look. And then if you also want to see how the AI actually talked with your customer during the call, then what you can do is you'll be able to also track the recording of each and every call over here. So
Hi, Oscar. This is a...
Once you actually click on the links, you'll be able to see the recordings, right? So this is the link over here. I'll not be playing it, but I hope you guys get the idea. So now that you guys have an idea as to how this actually works, let me actually walk you through the step-by-step process behind this as to how this is actually working. So I built the AI voice agent, the voice agent as in the one that called the customer and then spoke like a human, all of that. So I built that agent using VAPI, and I will also be sharing all the prompts and all the templates that you guys saw. This is the one, and this is the first scenario, and this is the second scenario, and you can access all the scenarios that I will be using in this video absolutely for free. You can just find all the resources in the description down below. So there's a link provided named as the resource hub. Once you click on that resource hub, you'll be able to access all these free templates so that you can just download it by yourself, set this up for your business, and get things up and running real quick. So I built the voice agent using VAPI. I connected it with a Twilio number, and then I used Make as the main backend logic. So this is make.com, by the way, and this is where all the automations are happening. And I used Google Sheets to store the information on a CRM. So as you guys saw, I used Google Sheets to actually call the numbers. This is the first sheet where I'm using this to actually call the numbers, and this is the second sheet where I'm actually using it to actually track the information of each and every call, such as the customer ratings, their feedback, the call summary, and also the call recording as well. This is definitely a very valuable use case, especially for businesses that call their customers asking for reviews, right? So the traditional process was that humans used to call the customers one by one, and it's a very tedious process. It can take a lot of time, but using AI you can just automate this entire process. So this is the step-by-step implementation as to how this actually works. So you just upload the name and number of your customers who you want to call on Google Sheets, just like you saw I did, and then you will have to create an AI assistant for outbound calling, which is of course using VAPI, and I will show you later in this video as how you can set this up. And then you will have to connect this assistant with a Twilio number, which I will show you in the video as well, and then connect the VAPI assistant with Make, which is basically happening in this automation, as you guys can see over here. So the VAPI assistant that I created, I actually connected it with Make so that the voice agent and the automations are working all together in one way. So once you connect VAPI with Make, all you'll have to do is just run the automation, and then the AI will start calling the leads. So once the AI starts calling all the leads, it will also store the results for each and every call in a separate sheet, and including the call recordings, just like you guys saw. And of course, once the AI has called all the customers, you can just review all the calls all together in the single Google Sheet. as well and just review them by yourself. Now what can this assistant actually do? It can call 100 leads in 1 hour definitely, and it can do even more than that, and it can be trained with a script like a real sales rep. So let's see if you guys have a script for this, then we can also train the AI with this script as well, so that it can actually speak based on the script that you have provided. And it can also be integrated with any CRM that has an API connection, all right, such as Google Sheets, HubSpot, all of that. And then we can also transfer calls to a human as well, although this option may not be absolutely necessary for our use case, but we can set up this option as well. And we can also train the AI assistant in a way that it acts as a customer support agent or someone that books appointments for your business, if your business supports that kind of purpose. Now, and this type of automations can be most beneficial for these kinds of businesses, such as service-based businesses, such as salons and spas, for setting up appointment reminders, where the AI will call the leads for reminding them about the appointment. And then review collection, which was the use case that I showed you guys. And then this can also be set up for restaurants for collecting customer feedback, promotions, and then reservation confirmations, and for gym studios, clinics. There's tons of use cases for this. I'll just share this entire document with you. You can just access it in the description down below inside the resource hub. But without further ado, let's just dive right into the automation. All right. So before I show you this scenario, I'd like to show you this VAPI agent that I've created. So what it will do, it will call the numbers, and this is what the prompt looks like. If you're wondering, if you're new to this is your first time doing all of these things, then now we have to set up a system prompt. And the system prompt is basically the brain of the AI. It's basically a list of instructions you give to the AI as to how it should behave. Now I have tons of videos like this in my channel. You can check out my other videos if you're interested regarding this and you want to dive deep into this. So yeah, but this is a very basic system prompt that I've set up. So I've given it a role that you are an AI assistant calling customers on behalf of Bright Care Services. I just give it a name. This is not a real business, by the way. And then your goal is to just collect customers feedbacks. I have also given it a list of objectives as well, as that you have to greet the customer by their name, and this is the variable. If you're wondering what these curly braces are for, this is basically I'm giving it a variable. So the customer's name that I'm putting out over here, I want the information from this Google Sheet to be extracted directly to my AI voice agent, which is over here. So once I connect this to Make, the names that I put out on Google Sheets, it will be transferred to this voice agent. So we have to put out a variable that looks like this, so that the connections are there between the Google Sheets and the VAPI assistant. This will make sense once I explain this assistant further along. Now it will ask for a rating. If they give a rating, then thank them sincerely. This is basically a list of instructions. You can just go through this. Like I said, you can just find this entire prompt in the resource hub down below. And this is the guideline. Keep answers short and human-like. Stay polite. Add a touch of gratitude to make the experience pleasant. And then I've also given it a script as well. And this is basically called one-shot prompting. In terms of prompt engineering, this is basically called one-shot prompting. And what it basically means is that you give an example to the AI that this is exactly how I want you to speak. So once you actually give it an example that this is the input and this is how the output should be. So once you give it an example, it significantly increases the accuracy of the output from the AI, meaning the AI speaks in a much more consistent manner and its output is much more reliable. So yeah, this is basically a conversation example. So that's mainly it. I mean, there's not much to this prompt anyways, but yeah. So this is the first message, and this is basically the very first message that the assistant will say whenever your customer picks up the call, that hi name, and by name it will basically be the name from Google Sheets. So let's say I've inputted Oscar over here, so the AI will say hi Oscar, but let's say I have inputted John, so let's say this was the next phone number and there was John written over here in the second row, then in that case it will be hi John. So this is how it actually works. So yeah, and then once you're done with setting up the assistant, you can just select our list of voices over here using VAPI. All right, and if you're actually not familiar with VAPI, then you can check out my other videos. But basically VAPI is a platform where you can build AI voice agents without writing a single line of code. It's basically very beginner friendly. So yeah, you can choose a list of voices over here, and also you'll have to create a Twilio phone number. If you're setting it up for the first time, just head over to phone numbers, and then you'll have to create a Twilio phone number and then import it over here. So you can see that there is a couple of options, but I use Twilio for this. And yeah, just create a Twilio account and then copy all this information that will be provided in your Twilio dashboard, and then you'll just have to import this over here. I'm not going to be showing you this because I've done this in my other videos, or you can just search it up in YouTube as to how to import Twilio numbers into VAPI. This is quite simple. So yeah, but anyways, this is the prompt. So let's head back to this automation. So this automation is only responsible for calling the numbers one by one. All right, so what it will do is it will just go through the numbers. And by the way, this platform, this entire platform that you guys are seeing over here, this is called Make, and this is where you can set up automations pretty seamlessly, and it's also quite beginner friendly as well. I mean, you don't have to learn how to code and stuff to actually build these kinds of effective automations for your business. So this is the Google Sheets module, and I have connected my Google Sheets over here. So this is the name of the Google Sheets. This is just a test sheet over here, so I just named it test sheet. And yeah, this is the name of the sheet. You'll just have to say, if this is your first time, then you'll have to create an account, connect it, and then you'll find the name of your sheet here, and then just click on save. By the way, I will be sharing this template in the description down below. You can just find it in the resource hub. So once you head over to the resource hub, what you can do is you'll just have to download the template and then click on over here, and then you'll be able to import the template exactly like it is over here, right? So I'm passing the name and phone number from here, from this Google Sheets, to this iterator module, so that it actually iterates through each of the numbers. So let's say if I have put over 10 phone numbers over here, then what it will do is it will basically iterate after each and every number, so one by one, so that the AI is actually calling all the numbers one by one. And then I'm passing all of this to the area aggregator module. So what it is actually doing is it's actually pairing up all the values over here so that I can actually send it over here. So this module is actually responsible for making the call over here. So as you can see that this is the information over here. You can just copy it and then just use it for yourself. So let's head over to this module, and this is basically an API call where I am actually going to be running the VAPI assistant using this module throughout an API call. All right, so what it's actually doing is I'll be using this assistant that I've created over here. So this assistant will actually be running throughout this module via Make. So I'll be putting out the assistant ID over here, which is, you can find over here that this is the assistant ID. Copy the assistant ID and then put it out over here, and then you'll have to put out the array aggregator values. For the name, you put out the name over here. For the number, you put out the number over here, and make sure you add a plus sign to this because I have just inputted the number over here. Your number should definitely include the country code as well. So for example, as this is an American number, I used the number starting with 1, but I haven't added the plus sign is because sometimes it tends to cause some issues. So I just added the plus sign over here. All right, so basically it will be +1 6, all of that, like from the number it will just start from +1 6. So yeah, and this is the phone number ID, which you can also find from over here. You just head over to phone numbers, and then this will be your phone number ID. Copy it and then paste it over here, and this is basically your API key for VAPI. Don't worry, it's not my original API key. I just changed it up so that you guys don't have to copy it. But anyways, you definitely should not be exposing your API keys first of all. So yeah, now this is the API key for VAPI, and what you can actually find your VAPI API key over here. Yeah, just click on more, and then you can just find your API in somewhere around here, maybe in organization settings. But yeah, just find your API key in VAPI settings, and then just copy it and then paste it over here. So once this scenario has been set up from your side, what you can do is just make sure that you have connected it with the correct Google Sheets, and then what you can do is just put out the numbers over here and then put out the names as well. And once that's done, you can just click on run once, and the AI will start calling the numbers one by one. Now I would also like to give you a very hot take on this, is that once you have connected it with your Twilio number, make sure that you have inserted some credits into your Twilio account as well. Once you create a Twilio account for free, you will basically get $15, but that will not work for outbound calling. So if you actually want your outbound calling to work, you'll have to insert like around $20 or $30 to act as your balance. And once you insert some credits, you'll be able to make those outbound calls one by one. You cannot do this with the trial account. This is very important, right? Once this automation has been set up, you can just click on run once, and the AI will start calling the leads one by one. Now let's head back to the second scenario, and this scenario is basically connected with the second sheet, and the goal of this scenario is just to analyze the information on every call, and then just separate the values such as the call summary and the customer rating, their feedback, and then also the call recording. Basically, this scenario, this automation will separate the values and store the information and send it to the second sheet over here. All right. So whenever the AI ends the first call, this webhook will be triggered, and we will be connecting this with VAPI in just a moment. I'll show you guys how to do it. So basically, whenever the AI finishes the first call from VAPI, basically the information on the call will be sent over to this webhook, and then this information will be sent over to this transcript module, and this is basically ChatGPT assistant able to access this entire prompt from the template from the resource hub down below. Right, so once you import this entire template that I'll be showing, that you can find in my resource hub, so once you import this, you'll be able to see this entire prompt. I will not be going through this entire prompt, but the main goal of this prompt is just to give it a JSON output like this one, such as the name, the phone number, the customer rating, based on the transcript of the entire call which I got from the VAPI assistant. All right, so this is the transcript of the entire call, and I got all of this information from the VAPI assistant. So yeah, so this is the message transcript. So what I'm doing is I'm just passing the transcript of the entire call and to this module, and this module is basically giving me an output like this one, and then this output, this JSON output, is being sent to this module. So what this module will do is basically it will just spit out an information in separate values such as name, phone number, customer rating, all of that, so that I can actually map all these values and connect it with this Google Sheets over here, which is basically coming from this parse JSON module. This may sound a bit tricky to understand if you're doing this for your first time, if you're new to AI agents and stuff, but I promise this will make sense if you try setting this up by yourself one by one, right? So I'm getting all this information from here, but for this three information, the phone number, the call summary, and the call recording, I'm getting this from the VAPI assistant. All right, so yeah, now let me actually show you guys how you can connect this VAPI assistant, so that whenever a call ends, you will be getting this information to this webhook over here. So what you're gonna have to do is copy this web and then head over to VAPI, select your assistant over here, and then what you're gonna have to do is head on advanced and then click messaging, and this is where you'll be pasting your webhook URL over here, so inside the server URL box. So once you have done that, what you're gonna have to do is make sure inside server messages, make sure you just click on these two boxes only, which is the end of call report and also the transcript final. So what it actually does is it basically sends the full transcript, the final transcript of the call, to this webhook module. All right, after the end of the call, of course. So let's say the call ends, the transcript of the entire call gets sent to this module, and then this entire scenario runs, and then what you will be getting is the results of each and every call on this second sheet over here. All right, so if you want to actually make this work, make sure you just create a Google Sheets on your own, and then just create a make account and a VAPI account, set up the assistants, and make sure you use the resources that I've shared with you guys, especially these templates, these two templates over here, and also the system prompt. Import this into your following accounts, and then just connect it with Google Sheets, run the automation, and then everything should work just fine. Now even if it doesn't, you can just reach out to me, or maybe just leave out a comment as to what issue you guys are facing. And also, if this feels too long to set up for you, then I can help you out. So if you're interested in working with me, then there's a link provided in the description down below. You can actually click on it to book a free discovery call with me. All right, we will just go through your entire business. So now that I've explained how this entire system actually works from start to finish, so let me actually show you guys the real benefits of having a system like this. Alright, so basically this is the main ROI that businesses can have for having a system like this. Firstly, this will save you a lot of staff time, such as AI can make hundreds of calls per day instead of just doing manual calls by human reps, which is like 10, 20, or let's say 30 or 40, something like that. But the efficiency level is much higher when you're using AI, and of course there is much lower cost per call versus hiring agents. If you're interested in diving in depth, like I said, you can just book a free discovery call with me in the description down below. Right, and then you can also boost online reputation by having more reviews, and which means having higher trust, and of course which means having more sales for your business. This will also increase your response rate, and this system is definitely more scalable. What I am trying to say is that you can basically just put out all types of numbers you want. Like let's say if you can just set up 10, 50, 100 or even thousands of numbers over here, but you have to like set it up in a way so that you're not facing any issues. All right, so you can just connect all the numbers you want in a Google Sheets, and then the AI will basically call all the numbers. It's the setup is quite simple, that's what I'm trying to say. And then also has a long-term compounding effect, because more reviews means better SEO and more new customers. Now what would it look like without AI? So staff spending hours chasing feedback, you're having missed calls, inconsistent follow-ups as well, and you're struggling to collect enough reviews for your business, which are absolutely crucial, by the way. And your reputation is also suffering, which is leading to lost opportunities. But what happens when you have AI in your business? So every customer gets a call without fail. So this is basically inevitable that you'll be missing out on a customer review for your business when you have this kind of AI. So reviews increase month after month, and staff members are free to focus on their service and not on admin work. So here's the main part of AI. The goal is not to actually replace your human reps, but actually to make your human reps even more efficient, so that they can focus on the tasks that can actually drive real value to your business, that have higher leverage. And this will also give you a stronger online presence, because you'll be getting more inbound leads, and this is predictable automated system running in the background, because you'll be tracking everything that's happening throughout the calls, and your business also grows with less stress plus more efficiency. Now that's basically it for today's video. I mean, I hope you guys found the value behind this video. If so, then feel free to hit the like button, and also hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And if you're someone who is interested in working with me, if you're a business owner, then there's a link provided in the description down below. You can just click on it. All right, and that's basically it for today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.